Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So, guys, Canelo rubbishes and dismisses the Crawford fight. He said Crawford's not in my plans. I'm very glad to hear that because that would be a gimmick fight. I'm going to put it down here, guys. Look, I don't want to see Canelo in any gimmicky fights anymore. I don't want to, look, Charlo had no chance. Crawford's got no chance. And anybody else down there at the smaller weight classes, they've got no chance against Canelo. I think we've seen a lot of fighters now that have tried to, move up and try to fight Canelo. They got no chance. Yeah. I think we've kind of understood that now. If you haven't got that in your head, then clearly at this point that, you're crazy, because no small fighter is coming up and beating Canelo. And Terence Crawford has zero chance. He gets battered. And Charlo had the chin to survive against Canelo. This man ain't even going to have the chin to survive because Charlo's a bigger frame than Crawford. Yeah? So Crawford would get badly dealt with against Canelo, right? Badly dealt with. So that isn't a great fight. And to be honest with you, I'm sick. And look, here's the thing. Boxing isn't that great anymore. I'll be honest with you. What boxing was 10 years ago, like even fights like Lucas Matisse v. Lamont Peterson, fights like that weren't like mainstream fights, were great fights. We've hardly got many, there are, but there's not that many. And the big major fights, we don't want to see them sparring fights. That last night was terrible. That was a sparring match, and not Canelo's fault, but Charlo literally felt Canelo's power and came to survive. Charlo never has a high output anyway, but that was terrible yesterday. He was there, he was getting beat up from round to round. There was no energy because he knew he's getting a huge payday. Like, why does he want to go out there and get hurt? Because he's fighting a guy 2 weight classes bigger. He has a ready built made excuse. Calling out Terence Crawford after the fight. So clearly it was a business move. Clearly the reason why he wasn't going out there because he thought that I don't want to end up finishing my career here. So that way I can at least fight Terence Crawford. But that's a gimmick, man. That's not a fight. That was horrible. I'm sorry. That was terrible. That was terrible. By the way, where's Steven gone? Steven, since, Crawford beat up Spence, Steven, I don't know whether Steven's has commented on the video, but if you're watching, leave a comment, brother. But yeah, I don't want to see another gimmick. I don't want to see another gimmick. I want to see a proper fight. Canelo needs to fight Benavidez or Bivol now. Enough's enough with these gimmicks. Well, Benavidez is fighting Andrade now. So the winner of that fight, whoever wins that fight, I don't want to disrespect Andrade, but whoever wins that fight, I think it's going to be Benavidez. So, I think Canelo should fight Benavidez next. Whoever wins that fight, if Andrade wins that fight, then fight Andrade. If Benavidez wins that fight, then fight Benavidez. I think that would be a good next fight. I don't really want to see Canelo fight any of these guys anymore that are moving up weight classes. And I hope he doesn't fight Jamal, because Jamal is, don't get me wrong, Jamal is bigger than Jamel, but he hasn't fought for like 3-4 years, and I don't want to see, Canelo beat up on him next, in a fight again. That'll probably be a sparring fight at this point as well. So look, a lot of you said that, some of you, I commented and I said, look, Canelo ain't beating Bivol. And a lot of you came at me saying that, Imran, stop being a Canelo hater. Stating what I believe is the truth is not hating on Canelo. If I think Bivol beats Canelo, that's not hating. That's stating what probably 90% of people think would happen if Canelo was to fight. If we were to do a poll right now, a boxing poll, right, and most people would pick Bivol to win that fight. Now, that's not hating. That's because I don't think Canelo beats Bivol. Now, some of you said, well, Canelo does beat that version of Bivol. Okay, let's agree with you guys then. The guys that said Canelo beats Bivol. So why aren't you guys putting pressure on Canelo to fight Bivol then? Because a lot of you think that the best version of him beats Bivol, right? And he also believes that because he said it, that nobody beats this Canelo. Okay then, let's have the Bivol fight. You know, Canelo was the one in control. Canelo could have made that fight. Canelo could have easily made that fight. Bivol wanted to fight him at 168. Because if Canelo is saying that that he can beat Bivol, then if Bivol wants to fight him at 168, what's the problem? Because nobody beats that version of Canelo. Nobody beats this version of Canelo. So then let's the fight be at 168. Where I think Canelo would be better. Because a lot of you said he never had any stamina issues. But if he moves to 175 and puts on that added muscle, then he will have some stamina issues. He will still have some stamina issues because Canelo's not a natural 175. So he's going to have stamina issues. He's not a natural 168. But to add on another 7 pounds, it's going to make a big difference. Right? So, in my opinion, that fight probably suits Canelo better at 168. I can see why Canelo doesn't want to do it at 168. Because Canelo realizes if he ends up losing to Bivol at 168, he's lost everything. Whereas if he fights Bivol at 175 and loses, at least he can come back down and say, that wasn't my weight. Do you understand? So it's a very, very risky and dangerous move for Canelo to fight Bivol at 168. But okay then. I'm sure Bivol wouldn't mind. So Bivol wanted Charlo to win because Bivol knows that Canelo's not going to fight him at 168. I think that is the problem. Because Bivol was saying that I don't mind if Charlo wins because then I would like to fight for undisputed at 168. Bivol knows that Canelo ain't going to fight him at 168. Because a lot of you guys think that Canelo would beat Bivol at 168 as well. Because you think that's his best weight. So why isn't Canelo taking the fight at 168 then? That's what you got to think about because it's a business move, man. It's very risky for his career legacy, everything. Because Canelo's undisputed at 168. If Bivol comes down to 168 and beats Canelo at 168, what are people going to say? And by the way, doesn't that make Bivol a weight bully then? Because people say Charlo's a weight bully, right? Does that make Bivol a weight bully? Because Bivol would be coming down and fighting at a weight class where he's never really even fought before. So that make Bivol a weight bully? Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like people say, oh, weight bully and stuff like that, where like Bivol is quite a professional fighter. He's never missed weight, I don't believe, at 175, and he probably would never miss weight at 168. So Bivol is actually fighting at a weight class where he could probably make the weight at the lower weight class, but he's fighting at 175. You know, so that's what I mean. He's probably already fighting at a weight class where he's not that big. If he can make the lower weight class. So the thing is, right, is that Canelo should probably fight Benavidez. That's probably a fight where I think he beats Benavidez. I think it would be a good, exciting fight. I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of boxing at this point where I just think the fights we're getting are crap. And you know what the worst thing is? The big fights aren't even living up to the expectations. Like look at the Spence Crawford fight. That was a crap fight. That was a one-sided, like when you think about it, it wasn't an exciting fight. It was one-sided whooping. It was a one-sided fight, you know? So again, that's not great. When you're getting one-sided fights, you know, in top level fights like that, it's definitely not great at all. It's definitely not great. So, yeah, I'm a little bit, you know, I'm disappointed in that performance because I would expect, I would expect a lot better from what we got. We got a very poor, you know, very, very poor display. If I'm honest with you guys, it was very, very poor. You'd expect a lot more than what we got given, to be honest. Disappointing to say the least. Was expecting much better, was expecting a lot more, but you know, that fight yesterday really was crap, to be honest with you, because it was like Charlo didn't do anything. I mean, he didn't do anything, and look, it's easier said than done, us sitting on the couch and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, when people pay money to watch something, they want to see a guy go out and try it. I didn't feel like Charlo was trying, really. I mean, I felt like he was there to survive, and it's just disappointing to watch. It's not great. And I don't want to see Terence Crawford, who's like, and what happens is these guys like Charlo become underrated. Everyone's going to say Charlo was a bum. Charlo was this, that, and the other. But no one looks at the fact that he moved up 2 weight classes. He has no chance against Canelo, really. And the problem is that people like us buy into the hype. Because of all the promotion and stuff. Oh, yeah, Charlo, he's a big guy. Like, he may have a chance here. He might be able to, when really, he has no chance. It's logical. No guy moving from 154 is going to be the best at 168. It's not happening. It's just like anybody from 140 wouldn't move up to 154 and beat Charlo. Yeah? Like, you won't get the best at, who's the best at 140? Haney, Progress, whatever. They ain't moving up to, or Taylor or whatever. They ain't moving up to 154 and beating Charlo, are they? They wouldn't. So this is what I mean. I just think that there's too many gimmicky fights that are being made, probably because there's no much interest in a lot of the weight classes, so people are weight jumping and trying to make these fights which are kind of gimmicky, misfits almost, like type of crap. And it's just making it, I don't think it's good for boxing. I don't think it's great. I mean, so there's actually people out there that think Crawford can beat Canelo, which is absolutely absurd. Crawford's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but I mean, the guy's literally so small compared to Canelo. I mean, his body frame and everything. I mean, like I said, Charlo's body frame was able, and his chin was able to keep him in that fight in terms of not getting iced, right? And the fact that he was not throwing caution to the wind. Even if Crawford fought the way Charlo did, Crawford would get hurt. Because that right hand that hit Charlo, I don't think Crawford takes that punch. I don't. And I think Crawford has a pretty solid chin, but his frame, the way his body is, his frame isn't big enough to hold those shots, in my opinion. Like, Canelo hits very hard, and if one of those shots hits Crawford, he's in big trouble. Big, big trouble. Trust me. So, yeah, I wouldn't advise Crawford fighting Canelo, or I don't think anyone from those lower weight classes should go up and fight Canelo. It's too dangerous. It's only going to end in one way, and that's going to be you on your back. So, yeah, it's best to stay away. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Love to know your opinions, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.